Welcome back to another Forrest Fenn'S search. We have just arrived at our trailhead and we are going to put in here. But first, let us start at the beginning. We are approaching the northeast entrance of Yellowstone Park here, where we believe Forrest Fenn's first clue may start. Here at this entrance, we believe warm water halts. From here, Yellowstone starts with its geysers and its hot springs. But before you get to this entrance on the Highway 212 that you can take from Cody, Wyoming, it's all glacier creeks and cold high water streams and lakes. So, in a matter of speaking, warm water does halt here when you leave, or when you're coming in, it actually starts, right? So this road, the 212, is accessible in the summer. You can go from here, from Yellowstone to Cody on this road, and of course from Cody to here. Now, Cody was one of Forrest Fenn's stops as a child, visiting the Buffalo Bill Museum every time they came up every summer. But he also was involved there, as we know by one of his interviews, a lot when he was an adult, possibly as late as when he actually was hiding his treasure. Being that this drive is so beautiful, I can almost assure you that he probably traveled from Cody up this way to get to Yellowstone at one time or another. Also at this entrance and the picnic area here that is coming up lies on the 45th parallel. And as everybody undoubtedly knows, the 45th parallel is the halfway point between the North Pole and the equator. And that may have something to do too with some of his words that he talks about into his poems, possibly. Your effort will be worth the cold, or where warm waters held. On our last time through here, we did stop at Warm Creek picnic area to have a little picnic. Forrest Fenn did say bring a sandwich and a flashlight, so this was definitely on our radar last time. Also did a bit of a search over there. Beautiful area, and undoubtedly once again a place he may have been, but we did not find anything. So in this area, coming from the north entrance, is also something I want to touch on real quickly, is that when he said the treasure was between 10,200 and 5,000 feet in elevation, I want you to know that the peaks that are surrounding the northeast entrance are all 10,000 feet and higher. And then the area that we are putting in here in just a moment is actually around the middle of that, which we keep thinking that between 10,200 and 5,000 is 7,600. So we've been looking at a lot of areas that are around that mark of 7,000 to 7,600. This road really takes you along a lot of great little places to stop along the way. One of them is this beautiful area right here that we stopped last time we were here. Definitely worth a little side trip on this road if you come this way. One thing about this road coming from the northeast entrance is that it does go in the canyon down. And what you will see here in just a moment is that we're going through an area that is called the Icebox Canyon. Just before that, though, right here coming up is going to be the Soda Butte Creek picnic area, another great area if you want to stop and have a sandwich or do a little fishing in the Soda Butte Creek. But anyway, yeah, in this area in the olden days, this was a really treacherous area for people like Russell Osborne to go through this Icebox Canyon, because it, now of course there's a road, but back then it was just a narrow canyon rock faced on both sides, with tall trees on both sides. He talks about that in his book, Journal of a Trapper, which I will get to in just a little bit more about it. And you can kind of see a little bit on the side here. As you can see here to my left, it's a little bit hard to see, but if you hear coming yourself, then it's definitely a place you want to take a look and see what that little canyon looks like. For those of you that have been to Yellowstone National Park, and especially to the Lamar Valley, you know how beautiful this area is, and I know that you could probably imagine him fly fishing in Soda Butte Creek, or in the Lamar, or Sloth Creek. There's another creek that we're going to be coming up here pretty soon, and that is called Pebble Creek. And Pebble Creek is a nice little creek coming out of the mountains on the right hand side and flowing into the Soda Butte Creek. But it also has a wonderful little campground that if you have a small RV or enclosed camping unit that you may want to camp at. I say enclosed camping unit because this area, Pebble Creek and Sloth Creek campground, do get a big influx of grizzly bears walking through, so you don't want to be in a tent if you don't have to. Anyway, we are going to one of these fly fishing areas that Forrest Fenn probably would have visited on his trips here to the Lamar Valley, and this one is called Trout Lake. And well, of course that will make you think about you know, put in below the home of Brown. Well, that's exactly what we thought, and so on one of our last searches we stopped here and took a look and did a pretty good search of the area. I will show you a little clip of that right here. This is a short steep trail coming up here, and we really enjoyed it. We took the whole loop around this lake. Like I said, it's maybe 2 miles all the way around and back down, so it's not very far. It definitely has a short steep area, but the rest is flat and it's beautiful, and it's a great lake. However, we looked everywhere, but the problem here we found, it's not brown trout. Here it's cut trout and rainbow trout that is fished. So the put in below the home of Brown didn't quite hold water here, so to speak. Anyway, we are coming to one of the last stops before we get to our trailhead where we're gonna actually put in. And that area right here is an historical stop, and it is the Soda Butte geyser here. I just can't shake the feeling that he has been here. I mean, he has been here fishing for sure in the Soda Creek and then the Lamar Valley, where the pure buffalo roam, and the landscape is beautiful. It has sage and mountains and pines, wildflowers, wildlife, and fishing. Our first time searching the Lamar Valley, and I'll put the link in on the end of this video, we believe that the Soda Butte was where warm water halted. It is a geyser that was no longer active, which would have been at the same time as Forrest Fenn when he was hiding his chest. It was not active, but it has since been slowly putting out some hot water again and is slowly becoming active again into the Soda Butte Creek. I will read you just a short little piece out of Russell Osborne's book, Journal of a Trapper, which was one of Forrest Fenn's favorite books to read when he was younger. He also mentions him in his book, The Thrill of the Chase. Anyway, Russell describes the Lamar Valley, which he called the secluded valley, in this short little piece here. There's something in the wild romance scenery of this valley which I cannot, nor will I attempt to describe, but the impressions made upon my mind while gazing from a high on the surrounding landscape one evening as the sun was gently gliding behind the western mountain and chasing its gigantic shadows across the vale, whereas such time can never efface from my memory. But as I am neither a poet, painter, or romance writer, I must content myself to be what I am, a humble journalist, and leave this beautiful vale in obscurity until visited by some more skillful admirer. That leads us back to where today's search is going to take us, where the Soda Butte, Cache Creek, and the Lamar River flow into this valley. If you read Journal of the Trapper, or have read it, you'll know that the beaver pelts used to be cached in caches below the ground to be picked up at a later date. We are not only looking for those caches, but also for a creek that we think may be special to a man like Forrest Fenn that would possibly like to be known forever. So we came from there, and then slowly, so I don't make anybody dizzy, we're here at the Soda Butte Creek, and there's Bob.
Yeah, here I am. I'm on the bridge. We're going to cross the creek here. We're going to put in below the home of Brown, which, you know, could possibly be Wob the bear, you know, and there's Wob Springs, and that's where, you know, as a story went, this was a turn-of-the-century book where this bear that hated, you know, humans because they'd killed its mom and it grew up as a mean cub, you know, that he would attack people and all sorts of things. And his home was thought to be in this area, and there was a bear that they kind of named after him that actually died up by the hot springs that are up there. And I actually have an old picture that will show of it from a long time ago, very old black and white. But we're going to go ahead and put in right here below the home of Brown, and we're headed over towards the Lamar. So let's head on out.
Okay, so we're here at the junction. We could have come from the horse trail area, where it would have been 0.9, and coming from the Soda Butte trailhead, it's 1.2 miles, but it has a bridge. And as you can see, it's pretty chilly today. Got here to the end of the season, probably one of our last searches, and snow's on the mountain, so the less we put our feet in the water, the better. Anyway, we're gonna go from here and turn around, and we're heading just a little bit more down. I'll show you where our next split is. I don't know if you can see them, but there's a pronghorn over there. I think we're gonna be safe. I think he's going the other direction. We'll have to see what the sign says. I'm gonna go back here. He was standing right by the sign, so we couldn't really do anything. So I'm gonna go check it out. Cache Creek Trail is where Wob, the grizzly, was. And we are going in below that, right over. See this sign right here? We're going to be following that because we're going towards Amethyst Mountain, I'd say, because we're going to go in below. And looks like we got a little hill to climb here. So far, it's been pretty easy, I say, for an 80-year-old man.
Yeah, he could easily do this.
And not too far so far. So we'll keep going with that theme. Because Wop Spring is way too far for an 80-year-old man to do 2 times in an afternoon. So we're going to go in below it. and this is no place for the meek. There's wolves, grizzlies, crazy bison. So, alright, here we go.
We just started on the branch that takes us over to the Specimen Ridge Trail to the Lamar, and we came across this. Not quite sure what it is. It kind of looks like a grave, and it's something that we should kind of look up and see if there's any information on it, historical. But it is something that even if we're treasure hunting, even though it could be a blaze, it is pretty close to a trail. But it looks more like a grave, and I'm not going to be messing around with somebody's grave.
Or it just signifies the end is ever drawing nigh.
Yeah, it could be that as well. So we're going to continue on, but I'm not going to disturb this at all.
Okay, we found some more trail blazes. That should be somewhere where the fording is of the Lamar. We'll see if we can actually do it and reach Unnamed Creek. Tell you about it when we get to the river. Well, we're here at the crossing of the Lamar and the Unnamed Creek, and definitely no place for the meek. As you can see, the scratches on this tree. I'll zoom in a little bit. Oh my goodness, they're deep and they're widespread, so probably grizzly. Got a bear spray, and we are right here. We're in the wood, and gonna do a little searching around here. When you say no paddle up your creek and heavy loads, water high, this ford is definitely that. I'll show you.
We had some rain for a couple of days, so I don't know if the water's higher or not. I'm not sure how deep this is, and it's pretty cold out, so you know, this is heavy loads, a lot of rock here, and water high, a little bit deeper than normally crossing a creek. But you know, will your effort be worth the cold? You know, I'm sure it's plenty cold today. It's cold out. And if you've been brave and in the wood, when you finally get across to, you're in the woods. I see sage. I see everything he talks about, wild animals. I see mountains. Everything is here. We're going to go up to No Name Creek. We'll walk up the river here. Maybe we can get a shot of it going across.
Alright, so we bushwhacked it on an animal trail from the crossing,
Yep.
yeah, the ford, and since the water was way too deep right at the moment, we may have to search the other side another time, but we came down here, which we're still looking for No Name Creek, which should be down here somewhere. So we followed the Lamar a little bit, came into this beautiful flat little area with awesome aspens. The sun's actually coming out. It's starting to shape up like a really, really nice day. So we're gonna take this little steep animal trail down and find a nice place for some lunch and finding No Name Creek. And as you can see, we are definitely alone in here. Alright, we went down the cliffside over here. Not too hard. Doable for an 80-year-old man. Down the bison trail. But as you can see, bisons like this area. Scratching and wallowing. And this is a really pretty little area. We're going to really search this area. Bob is already a little further out in the wood, as you can see. Yeah, I'm gonna go follow him. I have my bear spray out again, ready to aim and shoot. This is the bear area. Definitely no place for the meat. And our head is on a swivel. There's so many things nature-wise that could be a place, you know, and hidey holes, obviously. I'm in the wood, nice grasses, beautiful place to lay your body to rest. However, I think he has a man-made place because the trees and all that could burn up. There is sage here on the hill, obviously mountains. It is just gorgeous. Well, I'm gonna go do a little searching because I feel like we're hot, as in hot on the trail. I always feel like I gotta look in little places, because I don't think he would ever bury something in a national park. That's always been our thing. Never dig, because he would have hidden it. He wouldn't be digging. No way. Well, we're having lunch right here at No Name Creek. If it is on the other side, close to the creek area, we have a feeling that that would be a great hiding spot, because there's only so many times of the year you actually can get to it, so that you can ford this Lamar River. So that would really narrow up the search. We've decided what better place to hide a treasure next to something that still needs a name and be forever remembered in this area. Soon to be named Forrest Fenn'S Creek, or Treasure Creek. Hopefully any of those or the above. But a beautiful spot. Definitely worth a treasure chest and throwing a body over it. That's for sure. Wow, look how pretty. There's a natural spring here. And moss growing. Look at the layers of rock and everything in the wall. You know that the river here, and I'll try to pan slowly for you, this beautiful cave area right here. Wow, we thought it looked like a blaze. But what a great view. And as you can see, the Lamar probably overspills here when it gets really, really bad, and comes into this area. Right here is where the bison wallow, and as you can see, the little wallowing holes here and the hoof prints. But wowee, huh? Okay, Bob's gonna do a little search in here. Check it out. I think that'll be our last little search here, and then we'll hit the road. Unless we find it, of course, right here. You can't smell, but it smells like sage here. Sage is up on the hill to the right of me. We have searched high and low here, and we will have to call it quits for today. Hope that nobody else finds it before us. Of course, we wish everybody good luck. And remember, you gotta put your boots on the ground, because everything looks different, feels different, smells different. You just don't know until you got your boots on the ground.
There's a little spring coming down behind me. It's a little alcove, and there's ferns growing in it. I could smell the stinging nettle in there as well.
Ouch!
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get any, but I could smell. You know, it has a certain smell to it, and it's really pretty there. But it just looked like something that stood out. So in this area, so I thought, well, I'm here. I might as well take a peek at it.
think we're gonna have to wrap it up.
Yep, for now, until either our next search that'll be coming up, or we come back to this area when we can ford the river and take a look on the other side.
Okay. Thanks everybody for watching and subscribing, of course. We really appreciate it. Bye.